Hi guys, this is Asal. I'm studying for the bar and I wanted to review my notes with you. So today I'm actually studying defamation, and this is the part 2 of the video, as I made a part 1 describing what defamation is, and I kind of went into these elements right here, the state of mind and the opinion versus the fact, and what a statement is. But today I would like to jump into describing defamation in the modern era. And I would like to start by the case of New York Times versus Sullivan, where the Supreme Court first started imposing First Amendment restrictions on common law defamation suits. Okay? And here, a public official cannot recover damages for defamation related to official conduct unless the public official proves the statement was actually false and that it was made with actual malice. So, what does it mean, made with actual malice? So, actual malice is the statement was made either with knowledge that it was false or with reckless disregard as to its truth or to falsity, as to truth or falsity. Okay, so the next thing I would like to talk about is reckless disregard. What does it mean to act with reckless disregard? So it means that an unreasonable disregard of a high probability or risk of falsity, and a publisher of the remark seriously doubted the truthfulness or was highly aware the remark was false. So he's highly aware and he knows of the seriousness. Actual malice is not mere negligence or failure to investigate, and it is not involve spite, ill will, or dislike. The requirement of falsity and actual malice apply to any defamation suit by a person who is either a public official, now I'm going to describe what that means, or a public figure. I'm also going to describe what that means, if the defamatory remark is sufficiently connected with the person's public stature. So, now the next thing I would like to talk about is the difference between a public official and a public figure, okay? So, what's a public official? A public official are those who are in position, those whose positions are subject to public scrutiny and discussion of position holder, okay? Such as employee who have or appear to the public to have substantial responsibility over governmental affairs. So think about that for a second. Who is a public official? Is the president a public official? Are the police public officials? Are the professors and teachers public officials? Like, who is a public official? I'm going to describe that. I would also like to go back and I would like to talk about the actual malice rules apply to anything that affects the official's fitness for public office, even if it also implicates the official's private character. Okay? Now, I would like to talk about public figure. What does public figure mean? Public figure are those with pervasive notoriety, that's such a hard word for me to say, notoriety, and those who thrust themselves into public controversy. Public controversy. So they thrust themselves into public controversy, and those who are thrusted into a public controversy. So they either thrust themselves or they were thrusted into public controversy. So, what is the next thing I want to talk about is private individuals. Who is a private individual? So, private individuals must prove that defamatory statement was false and must show that the publisher was at least negligent. So, that's the difference between a public and a private. And then now the next thing I want to talk about are the damages. Because a private person, actual malice is required for presumed or punitive damages. But actual malice is not required if the subject of the defamatory statement is solely of a private person. Now, with a public figure, though, actual malice is required even to make out the prima facie case for defamation. And if actual malice is proven, the defendant can recover punitive damages and perhaps have damages presumed. So, if the plaintiff is actually proven to be a private person, there's these five things that you must write down that apply to them. Must prove that the common law elements of defamation, must prove that the defamatory statement was false, and must prove that the defendant was at least negligent. And the private concern damages may be presumed, and punitive damages may be awarded for slander per se and libel. And the fifth one is the public concern. Actual malice must be proven in order to presume or recover damages. And if the plaintiff is a public figure or official, then it must prove that the common law elements of defamation, must prove that defamatory statement was false, must prove the statement was made with actual malice, and may recover presumed and punitive damages. So, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say about a public figure, a private figure, a public official, a private figure. And the next video is going to be about privileges and defenses. Have fun studying.